Hi there, it's Denise, and this is Turn Your Stress into Happiness Wednesdays. And I'm going to be taking things back a little bit of a step here. And I'm going to go into what burnout is. So, what is burnout? Burnout is a state of exhaustion, and that is emotionally, physically, and mentally due to prolonged stress. And the Scientific American Journal has designed 12 steps of burnout, and I'm going to go through that with you. So now the first step is a compulsion to prove oneself. So what it is you're attaching yourself to results. You're a passionate doer, maybe a perfectionist, people pleaser. You're proving your importance and your worth. Now, step two is you start working harder. And it's the do or die syndrome. You have to do everything yourself because you want it done perfectly, and the only person that can do it is you. And you almost place yourself in competition with family or friends, and you get to this point where now you're not enough hours in the day. And when you start going into this hamster wheel, you're always in that mentality that you don't have enough time. Now, step three is when you start neglecting your needs. You work, 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 work. You don't have time for self-care. No, I can't go for a walk. I don't have enough time. Your sleeping patterns have gone a little bit haywire. You don't have time to eat. You don't have time for social fun, friends, family. And basically what happens is that's either, your car starts to run out of gas, your light bulb starts to go a little bit dim, and, you're not giving yourself the time to rejuvenate, and you start going into that slump. Now, step four is displacement of conflicts. And now you're not starting to feel right. You're feeling irritable. You've got a short fuse. You start blaming others. You start yelling at the cat, yelling at the dog. And problems are being dismissed. You're not looking at things properly. Now, in step five, you're starting to revise your values. So, for instance, if your values are love and family, and now you can't stand anybody else, you have no tolerance to be with other people, you start looking at people like they're stupid, they're lazy, why are they doing this? And it's everything is their fault. You start getting really a really bad hazy view on the outside world. Now, in step seven, this is when you start going into, I'd say, bad burnout. Step seven, you start withdrawing. So now in step seven, you don't have a social life because you don't have time for others. You've got this mentality that there's just not enough time, not enough time, not enough time. And you start feeling like there's no hope. And this is a horrible time because I see it with a lot of people because they don't see across the line. They don't want to take that step back. And they're almost like, and they end up putting themselves in isolation. And sometimes at this stage, you start doing stress release with drugs, drinking, eating, sex, whatever your passion is. Now, in step eight, obvious behavioral changes. Now, this is when your friends, your family start going, what the hell's wrong with her? And they start noticing a difference. Now, in step nine, you start depersonalizing. So it's where your feelings and your thoughts don't even feel real. They don't belong to you. And you lose your sense of identity. And this is getting to a scary part of burnout. Now, in step 10 is inner emptiness. You just feel numb. You're in this zombie. You've got yourself in this cocoon that you created. And, a lot of times you do reach out to sex, overeating, drugs, drinking, things like that, just to numb yourself. Now, in step 11, it goes into depression. And I know a lot of us have been through depression. So you feel lost, you feel unsure, you feel exhausted, you don't feel like there's a future, you feel helpless, you're fatigued, and you can hide it too. Like I remember once when I was in depression, I lived by myself and no one knew I was in depression because I would jump out of bed if someone came to the door, if someone was coming over, I'd make sure. And the second they left, boom, I'm back in bed. And it was finally my sister called me and we started talking and she's like, what's wrong with you? And you know what? Just her saying that snapped me out of it, because then all of a sudden I opened up and I said, yeah, I need help. And you know what? It takes a while sometimes to even realize when you are in burnout or you are in depression that you need help. So, step 12 is full burnout. And this can lead this stage. A lot of times you're in mental burnout. This is when you're crying uncontrollably. Your emotions are all over the map. You just physically collapse. A lot of times, if we're at this point, we get sick. I know for myself, I had walking pneumonia that I had forever, and I just ignored it because I was just too busy, because my brain could not shut off and I could not see things realistically. So I do have a free quiz that if you'd like to take, because you know what? Burnout doesn't just happen. Burnout is a lifestyle, and it's how you treat yourself and how you treat your world. And if you create a lifestyle that's more balanced, I'm not saying you won't experience stress, because stress keeps us going, but it's how we deal with stress and how we create an awareness towards stress that keeps us on a healthier level. So take the free quiz. And if you are feeling in the end stages of burnout, please reach out to me. You're not in this alone. And a lot of times when you are in burnout, you have cocooned yourself, and it's so hard to ask for help. But that's why I'm here. I'm a burnout coach. So just reach out to me and I'd love to help you. So see